Few artists in the history of popular music have managed to leave a mark as deep and enduring as Neil Sedaka. Known for his melodic genius, heartfelt lyrics, and smooth piano-driven pop sound, Sedaka became one of the most recognizable voices of the late 1950s and early 1960s. His music bridged generations, and his songwriting skills helped shape the evolution of pop music for decades. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Sedaka emerged as both a singer and a prolific songwriter. With classic hits like Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, Calendar Girl, and Laughter in the Rain, he became a household name across the United States and internationally. Beyond his own performances, Sedaka also wrote chart-topping songs for other artists, further cementing his influence on the music industry. Over a career spanning more than 6 decades, Sedaka earned multiple award nominations, platinum records, and a loyal fan base worldwide. His ability to adapt to changing musical trends allowed him to remain relevant long after many of his contemporaries had faded from the spotlight. As of early 2026, Neil Sedaka's estimated net worth was around $100 million, accumulated through record sales, songwriting royalties, concerts, and publishing rights. His financial success reflects not only commercial achievements, but also the enduring popularity of his music catalog. Tragically, the legendary musician passed away on February 27, 2026, shortly before the anniversary of his induction into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1983. His death marked the end of an extraordinary life dedicated to music, creativity, and storytelling. Early life, parents, siblings, education background. Neil Sedaka was born on March 13, 1939 in Brooklyn, New York, into a hard-working immigrant family. His upbringing in a culturally rich neighborhood played a major role in shaping his passion for music. His father, Max Sedaka, worked as a taxi driver. Originally from Turkey, Mac immigrated to the United States in search of better opportunities. Despite long working hours, he remained supportive of his son's growing musical interests. Neil's mother, Eleanor Sedaka, was of Polish-Jewish heritage and worked as a department store clerk. She was the first person to recognize her son's musical talent and encourage him to pursue piano lessons at a young age. Unlike many future stars who discovered music later in life, Sedaka showed extraordinary musical ability as a child. By the time he was 8 years old, he was already taking formal piano lessons and demonstrating a natural ear for melody and harmony. Recognizing his talent, his parents enrolled him at the prestigious Juilliard School Preparatory Division for Children. Studying at Juilliard exposed him to classical music training, discipline, and advanced musical theory. During his teenage years, Sedaka attended Abraham Lincoln High School in Brooklyn. It was here that he met several individuals who would later become important figures in the music industry. One of his classmates was future songwriting legend Carole King, who later inspired one of Sedaka's most famous songs. As a student, Sedaka balanced academics with music practice. While other teenagers spent their time on sports or social activities, he spent hours perfecting piano compositions and experimenting with songwriting. By the time he graduated from high school, Sedaka had already formed early musical groups and begun writing songs that would eventually lead him into the professional music world. Personal life, wife, kids, religion, other works. Despite the chaos that often surrounds fame, Neil Sedaka maintained a remarkably stable personal life. In 1962, he married Leba Strasberg, who would remain his lifelong partner and biggest supporter. The couple's marriage became one of the longest-lasting relationships in the entertainment industry. Leba frequently accompanied Sedaka during tours and public appearances, standing beside him through every phase of his career. Together, they had 2 children, Dara Sedaka, who pursued a career in entertainment and occasionally worked within the music and television industry, Mark Sedaka, who also showed interest in music and production. Family remained an essential part of Sedaka's life. Despite traveling for concerts and recording sessions, he made efforts to spend quality time with his wife and children. Religiously, Sedaka was raised in a Jewish household, and his cultural heritage remained an important aspect of his identity throughout his life. Outside of performing, Sedaka was involved in numerous creative projects. He collaborated with other musicians, worked in music publishing, and occasionally appeared on television programs. He also wrote songs for major artists, expanding his influence far beyond his own recordings. In addition to music, Sedaka enjoyed philanthropy and supported various arts organizations dedicated to preserving music education for younger generations. Professional career. Neil Sedaka's professional career began in the late 1950s when he joined a vocal group, The Tokens. The group later gained fame for hits like The Lion Sleeps Tonight, but Sedaka soon pursued a solo career. His breakthrough came when he signed with RCA Records. In 1959, he released Carol, which became a major international hit. The song's playful lyrics were famously inspired by his former high school girlfriend Carole King, adding an interesting personal backstory that fans loved. During the early 1960s, Sedaka became one of the biggest pop stars in the world. Between 1959 and 1963, he ranked among the best-selling artists, second only to Elvis Presley in record sales. His chart-topping hits included Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, Calendar Girl, Happy Birthday, Sweet 16, Next Door to an Angel. However, the British invasion of the mid-1960s temporarily slowed Sedaka's success in the United States, as bands like the Beatles dominated the charts. Rather than disappear, Sedaka reinvented himself as a songwriter. He continued writing songs for other artists and eventually staged an impressive comeback in the 1970s with hits like Laughter in the Rain and Bad Blood. His influence in the music industry was eventually recognized when he was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1983, a milestone that confirmed his legacy as one of pop music's most important composers. Throughout his career, Sedaka earned 5 Grammy nominations and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. House tour and car collection. Neil Sedaka enjoyed a comfortable lifestyle thanks to his long and successful music career. For many years, he owned a luxurious home in New York, designed with elegant interiors and spacious rooms. The property reflected his artistic personality, featuring a private piano studio where he composed music and rehearsed before tours. Later in life, Sedaka also spent time in California, where he owned another residence closer to the entertainment industry hubs of Los Angeles. Inside his homes, guests often noticed framed gold records, vintage photographs from concerts, and memorabilia from his long career. Sedaka's car collection was modest compared to some celebrities, but he appreciated classic vehicles. Among the cars he reportedly owned over the years were luxury sedans and comfortable touring vehicles that suited his travel schedule. Rather than flashy sports cars, Sedaka preferred practical, elegant automobiles that matched his refined personality. College career. Although Sedaka's professional career began early, his educational experience played an important role in shaping his musical abilities. His time studying classical music at the Juilliard Preparatory School gave him a strong foundation in composition and performance. This classical training set him apart from many other pop artists of the era. Sedaka understood complex musical structures and often incorporated classical influences into his songwriting. Even after achieving fame, he continued to study music theory and composition techniques, proving that his dedication to learning never stopped. Cause of death. On February 27, 2026, Neil Sedaka passed away following a brief hospitalization, according to a statement released by his family. While detailed medical information was not immediately made public, reports confirmed that the legendary musician had experienced health complications shortly before his death. His passing came just days before the 43rd anniversary of his 1983 induction into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, making the moment particularly emotional for fans and fellow musicians. Tributes quickly poured in from artists, producers, and music historians who recognized Sedaka's immense influence on pop music. Many praised his songwriting talent, warm personality, and ability to create timeless melodies that still resonate with audiences today. Sedaka was survived by his wife Leba, whom he married in 1962, and their children Dara and Mark. Legacy. Neil Sedaka's legacy is one of resilience, creativity, and timeless music. From teenage songwriter to global pop star, he proved that genuine talent and dedication can stand the test of time. His songs continue to be performed, recorded, and celebrated decades after their original release. For millions of fans worldwide, the melodies of Neil Sedaka remain a soundtrack to life's most memorable moments. Even after his passing in 2026, his influence on pop music and the countless artists he inspired will live on for generations to come.